Hello, my name is Christina and this is Christina's Cleaning and Homemaking. Welcome to my channel if you're new here, and welcome back if you've been here before. If you haven't yet, please click the subscribe button down below, and if you click the little bell, you can tell YouTube when to notify you of new videos that I have up. So if you click all notifications, then every time I upload a video, YouTube will let you know. If you just click general notifications, it'll probably let you know here and there, but not consistently or frequently. Also, if you could click like down below, that would be appreciated because it tells YouTube that this is a good video and will recommend it to other people that might want to see it as well. What I want to talk about in this video is, it has to do with what's going on in the world right now and our need to protect ourselves. And you might have seen in the news, it's kind of gotten a lot of press, there was a couple in St. Louis and they live on a private street, and a bunch of protesters broke the gate into the community where they live, their private street, and they had been threatening them and yelling at them. So the couple went to get their guns. The AR-15, I believe, was confiscated, but they still had the pistol, which I heard recently wasn't even a real gun. But they went out onto their property to protect themselves, and the crowd had been cussing at them and threatening to burn down their house and kill them and live in their house. And I don't know anyone with any common sense or sense of self-protection that would be okay with any of that. Now, in my household, my husband is an apologist, and sometimes that includes travel, which means that I could be here by myself with kids. That also means in that case, I am the first line of protection for my family. And with all that's going on, it was decided that I should take a concealed carry class. And it wasn't even so much about knowing the laws of when I'm out and about to be able to use the concealed carry and have a gun on me to be able to protect myself and my kids. But it was also about the concept of knowing how to properly use the gun and what the laws are as far as self-defense in my own home. Because if someone comes in the front door, or however they enter the house, because, well, we all know they're not limited by that, I am the first line of protection for my family. And they have to get past me before they can get to my kids. So I took this class. It goes over a lot of the laws and the rules for proper usage and safety. And I still have to download and look at the Ohio laws, because pretty much Ohio, from what I understand, reflects to the federal law. So whatever federal law is, what is Ohio law? So I'm going to be studying that, but I did already take the class. It took, to say it eloquently, all day. But it was a good class, and it was a very thorough class. And the last part of it, after the test, which I passed well, is the part where you practice shooting with a gun. Now, I'd never personally really handled a gun before, and I'd certainly never shot a real gun before. I mean, you got to play Nerf once and that sort of thing, but not a real serious gun. And so I did really well, apparently, because the first thing he had me do was, without the magazine in it, was to aim and see if I could hold the gun properly and aim. And I did. And then when I practiced shooting, I completely nailed the target. And he complimented me on the fact that I did, and asked why I hadn't been shooting with my husband before, which it came down to is that that's more his thing, and I wasn't really interested. My point of being there was to be prepared and ready and educated on how to handle the gun and what the laws were and what I needed to do if I needed to protect my family. And there are some that I know that will argue and say, oh, well, that's not biblical or that's not Christian, and that is a lie. Because we are allowed to protect ourselves. We are allowed to have self-defense, and Jesus warned us about being caught unaware. And so I want to make sure that I'm ready to protect and defend my family. And that is a right given to me by both the country, the state, and God. God first, always. Now, not only is self-defense supported in the Bible, but it's also in the Catechism of the Catholic Church, as well as it's also an epistle that Pope St. John Paul II wrote. And in his epistle, he also references the Summa Theologica written by St. Thomas Aquinas. And the paragraphs referenced in the Catechism are paragraphs 2263 through 2265, And then in Evangelium Vitae, which is the encyclical that Pope John Paul II wrote, it's paragraphs 54 and 55. And the quotes from the Summa Theologica are put into paragraphs 2264 and 2265. So I'm going to read you some excerpts from that so that you can get an idea. So this is from paragraph 2264. And it says, someone who defends his life is not guilty of murder, even if he is forced to deal his aggressor a lethal blow. And then it goes on to say, nor is it necessary for salvation that a man omit the act of moderate self-defense to avoid killing the other man, since one is bound to take more care of one's own life than of another's. And then it goes on to say, legitimate defense can be not only a right, but a grave duty for someone responsible for another's life, the common good of the family or of the state. So, as a mother, if I'm by myself and it's just me and the kids, it is my duty to protect those kids, be it with lethal force, because I have a legitimate defense in protecting my family. It's not only my right, it's my duty and my responsibility. Now, if you'd like to see these quotes for yourself, you can look them up, where I referenced them in the Catechism and in the encyclical, which you can usually find that with a quick, easy search on the Vatican website. But I will also link below the article that I pulled these from that have the references for you, so you can read for your own self where the right comes from in the Catholic Church and biblically to be able to defend yourself and your family. So I took the class, and I highly recommend that anyone else who is interested in getting their concealed carry take a class as well, because you not only learn the laws, but you also learn how to properly handle a gun and how to shoot. And that's important because you don't want to be mishandling a gun. They are strong and powerful, and it is a weapon, and you need to know how to properly use it. I know that I've heard of a lot of people lately who have gotten guns because of the situation going on, but there's nothing to say that they're trained or know how to use it. And that's not really a good thing. And the people in St. Louis were put in a position where suddenly they had to know. And I know a lot of people have made comments about the couple not really knowing how to hold or handle the gun. And it's like, yeah, they were at a point where she, from what I understand, doesn't even really like guns, but she was put in a position where she felt it necessary to hold one and be ready to protect herself. And being educated on how to do that would probably have been a better thing now. She'll probably follow up with that in the future, who knows. But I know that watching them and knowing what's going on, I wanted to be able to be ready to protect my family. And so I took the class, and I'm happy that I did. And I'm ready should I need to protect my family and myself. But I don't think it's anything that everyone just sort of wants to do. They don't want to get concealed carry so they're ready to shoot someone. No, you get concealed carry and you get the class and you get the lessons because you want to be able to defend yourself and know how to do it. Because no one wants to be a victim because they didn't bother to have the knowledge and have the skill to be able to protect themselves and their families. And my job as a mother is to be ready to protect my kids. And so that's what I've trained to do. I will put the link down below for the Facebook page for the class that I took and where I went if you're interested in taking that class as well. It's a really good class and I do highly recommend it. So thank you for watching my video. If you haven't yet, please click subscribe down below and I will see you in my next video.